she has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the height that she had, the expectations she had.
Let's start with the rookie, Caitlin Clark-Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, fever. Caitlin Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record.
She's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her.
Did you see what Caitlin Clark just did? She dropped 35 points and broke an 18-year-old rookie scoring record. But that's not even the craziest part. Let me tell you how she's turning the Indiana Fever into playoff contenders. You'd think a player who just shattered an 18-year-old record was dominating from day one, right? Wrong. Clark's start in the WNBA was rocky, to say the least. When she first joined the Indiana Fever, she wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard. The pressure was intense, and expectations were through the roof. After all, this was Caitlin Clark we're talking about, the college phenom everyone had their eyes on. But here's the thing, the WNBA isn't college ball. It's a whole different beast. The pace is faster, the players are stronger, and the competition is fierce. And Clark found herself struggling to keep up. She was missing shots she usually made in her sleep, getting beat on defense, and looking lost at times on the court.
I think like once we get there, it'll feel a little more real. And obviously, like, we're not just happy to be there. Like, we really feel like we can believe and we can compete with every single team that's going to be in the playoff. And that would have been another huge accomplishment for our group if we were able to beat them once. I think it has been since 2010. Since we've beat every single team in our league, so it's just another thing to work for next year. But I think, you know, you go into the Washington game, we still expect to win that too, and we know that Washington's going to be fighting for that last playoff spot too. So
remember those highlight reels from her college days? They seemed like a distant memory. Fans were worried. Critics were whispering. Was Caitlin Clark overhyped? Had the Fever made a mistake? But you know what's amazing about Clark? She didn't let it get to her. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, she doubled down. She spent hours in the gym, working on her game. She watched film, studied her opponents, and soaked up advice from her coaches and teammates. And then something clicked. It wasn't overnight, but game by game, Clark started to look more like herself. Her shots started falling. Her passes got sharper. She was reading the court better, anticipating plays before they happened. Then came the breakthrough. In a game against the Phoenix Mercury, Clark exploded for 28 points and 9 assists. It was like watching a light switch flip on. Suddenly, she was playing with confidence, making those impossible shots look easy again. But Clark wasn't done. She kept pushing, kept improving, and then came that insane game against the Dallas Wings. 35 points, 8 assists, 6 three-pointers. It wasn't just a great game, it was history-making. You know what's even crazier? Clark didn't just break the rookie scoring record, she shattered it. By the end of the season, she had racked up 746 points, blowing past Simone Augustus's old mark. And get this, she's the only rookie in WNBA history to record 2 triple-doubles in a season. That's points, rebounds, and assists all in double digits, twice. But it's not just about the numbers. Clark's rise changed the whole vibe of the Fever. Suddenly, they weren't just another team, they were contenders. Her teammates were playing better, feeding off her energy and playmaking. The crowds were bigger, louder, every game felt like an event. Let's talk about dynamic duos. While Clark was making headlines, another Fever player was quietly having a career year. Together, they formed a duo so potent defenses couldn't keep up. How did these two turn Indiana into an offensive powerhouse almost overnight? Enter Kelsey Mitchell, the seasoned sharpshooter who's been with the Fever since 2018. Mitchell's been a solid player for years, but something special happened when Clark joined the team. It's like they found their missing puzzle piece. At first, things weren't so smooth. Clark and Mitchell had to figure out how to share the ball, when to take shots, and how to read each other's moves. There were a few games where they looked out of sync, like two stars trying to outshine each other instead of working together. But Coach Christie saw the potential. She worked on plays that would maximize both their strengths.
I think I was just excited to play. Anytime you get the opportunity to get out there and go play, and knowing this, you know, this was our last regular season one at home. You know, it's fun. It's on the weekend. It's an afternoon game. Like, those are just better. Get over the hump of, like, really getting hot. Like, I know I was 6 for 14, and that's pretty good, but, like, I still feel like there was a couple there that it's just like, oh, how's that not go in? So I thought we were really good last time we played in Dallas. But we've honestly struggled to guard this team, and I think it just speaks to their offensive firepower that they have, like Enrique and Sabali's really good, and then we obviously struggle to guard their post player.
Clark's incredible court vision and Mitchell's deadly accuracy from beyond the arc? That's a combination that gives defenders nightmares. And then it happened. In that same game against the Dallas Wings, where Clark broke the rookie record, Mitchell was on fire too. Clark dropped 35 points, but Mitchell wasn't far behind with 30 of her own. That's 65 points from just 2 players. You know what's crazy? It wasn't just about the points. Clark was dishing out assists left and right, finding Mitchell for open threes. And Mitchell, she was creating space on the floor, drawing defenders away from Clark. It was like watching a perfectly choreographed dance. This partnership transformed the Fever's offense. Before, teams could focus on shutting down one player. Now, good luck with that. If you double team Clark, Mitchell's gonna make you pay. Try to lock down Mitchell, and Clark will slice through your defense like it's not even there. Their chemistry on the court is something special. There are moments when it looks like they can read each other's minds. Clark will throw a no-look pass, and Mitchell's already in the perfect spot to catch and shoot, or Mitchell will fake a drive, drawing defenders, and Clark's right there for the kick-out 3. It's not just about their individual talents anymore. Together, they challenge defenses and create opportunities that would be unthinkable without this synergy. The Fever went from being an easy win for other teams to a squad that can hang with the best in the league. And here's the thing, their partnership isn't just making them better players, it's lifting the whole team. Other players are finding open shots because defenses are so focused on Clark and Mitchell. The energy on the court is different. You can see it in the way they move, the confidence in their plays. Coach Christie deserves a lot of credit here. She's not just letting Clark and Mitchell do their thing, she's designing plays that maximize their strengths while getting the rest of the team involved. It's turning the Fever into a well-oiled machine, not just a two-woman show. Remember when the Indiana Fever were the laughingstock of the WNBA? Clark didn't just change that, she rewrote their whole story. How bad was it before she arrived, and what exactly did she do to turn things around? Let's rewind to 2016. The Fever were in a slump so deep it felt like they were digging to China. Year after year, they missed the playoffs. The fans were losing hope, and the energy in the arena. You could hear crickets chirping. But then came Caitlin Clark, and boy, did she shake things up. At first, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The Fever were still struggling, trying to find their footing. But Clark, she was like a spark in a dark room. Every game, she brought something new to the table. You know what's crazy? It wasn't just about her scoring. Sure, she was dropping buckets left and right, but that's not what made her special. Clark was dishing out assists like she had eyes in the back of her head. She was grabbing rebounds and making steals, doing everything. And then, bam, she hits us with not one, but 2 triple-doubles in a single season. You heard that right. Points, rebounds, and assists all in double digits. Twice. No rookie in WNBA history had ever done that before. It's like she looked at the record books and said, nah, I'm gonna write my own.
And it's after Clark was picked. Stores rolled out Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever jerseys and t-shirts.
Fans are on the hunt for anything and everything Clark now that she's officially a member of the Indiana Fever.
Wait from Christmas time through, I mean, we didn't have nearly enough in stock for just the regular jersey t-shirts and whatnot. And then it's just been nonstop orders coming in still today.
Dick Weiss posted that more Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever jerseys were sold in one day than the Cowboys sold last year for the entire team.
But here's the thing, Clark's impact went way beyond the stats. She brought this energy, this excitement to the team. Suddenly, the Fever weren't just going through the motions. They were playing with purpose, with fire in their eyes. You could see it in the way they moved on the court. The passes were sharper, the defense was tighter, and everyone seemed to be playing at a higher level. It's like Clark's presence lifted the whole team. And the fans, they started showing up in droves. The arena that used to echo with emptiness was now buzzing with excitement. People weren't just coming to watch a game anymore. They were coming to see Caitlin Clark work her magic. But the real kicker, the Fever didn't just improve, they made the playoffs. For the first time since 2016, they were back in the postseason. It's like Clark grabbed the team by the scruff of the neck and dragged them into contention. You want to know how big of a deal this is? Imagine a team that's been stuck in quicksand for years, suddenly sprouting wings and soaring. That's what Clark did for the Fever. And it wasn't just on the court, Clark's presence was felt everywhere. Merchandise sales went through the roof. People who'd never watched a WNBA game in their lives were suddenly Fever fans. She didn't just change the team, she changed the whole vibe around women's basketball in Indiana. But you know what's the craziest part of all this? Clark's just getting started. This is her rookie rookie season. Can you imagine what she'll do with a year or two of experience under her belt?